Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How you doing, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm ABC Action News Chief. Doggone it. I just had to ban myself. Tampa Bay 28 Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips. Force a habit. It's like the anchors, they're lucky because all their stuff is scripted, right? So whenever they're reading everything that they're saying, and they're going to read Tampa Bay 28, whatever, you know, and me, it's just kind of comes out. It's a natural thing that I said for the last 30 years, 27 years. I don't know how long it's been. So anyway, that may be a record. I have banned myself after about 6 seconds of the show, so I can go watch football. No, we got 30 minutes of weather to talk about, and we are actually going to talk real quick, right off the bat. Let's talk about the severe thunderstorm warning that was going on in Hardee and DeSoto County. So let's go ahead and look here. I was texting my son. His wife and him just got back from Germany. They were on a week-long trip, and you know, I'm asking my oldest son, the doctor, I'm asking him medical questions like, how many weeks to purge ale from your system? Because every picture from Germany was, you know, you're drinking ale or beer, right? That's what you do. All right, anyway, that's just my text thread that's going on. We multitask while the show is on, as do you, I'm sure, with all your comments and watching on TV and whatnot. There's a look, and if we go back, you see the little yellow box that was right, where is it? Well, it was right, I saw it a second ago, right there. There's the yellow box. That was the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for DeSoto and Hardee County. It's no longer in effect, but here's what it said. At 6:54, severe thunderstorm located 10 miles northeast of Arcadia, moving northwest at 10. Radar indicated hail, quarter-size hail, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Again, no longer in effect, but locations impacted were Gardner, Brownville, and Sweetwater. So there you had it, and now it is just, well, there's just some rain out there. And some thunderstorms. I mean, here, let's go ahead and see the lightning strikes. Pop that in. So 268 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes or so in that general area. So there it is. The rest of the area, not much going on. Let's see where this is all moving. Over the last 3 hours, not moving a lot. Well, over the last 15, 20 minutes, maybe a motion to the northwest a little bit. But overall, the majority of the rain, as has been the case for the last couple of days, is south of I-4. That's where most of the moisture has been. It's been a while since we've seen a severe thunderstorm warning. You are correct. So let's go ahead and do some hellos. and check out how was your weekend. So, look, I caved to family pressure. We already talked about this. So I was posting it on Facebook. By the way, if you're watching on TV, on DirecTV 66 or Spectrum 17 or Frontier 23 or over-the-air 66.1, thank you for watching. Watch on TV, follow along on social because you can see all the stuff that goes on because there's a lot of drama. I mean, you guys know this. If you follow on social media, you always know there's a ton of drama on social media. There just is. Well, we have all these little conversations that are going on as well within our Facebook group. So you get the best of both worlds. You see the bigger screen on TV when we're talking tropics, which we got some tropics to talk about. And then at the same time, you can get in on the conversations. Lots of folks here. Susie in Tarpon Springs, how are you? Want to say hi and thank you for all the folks who came over. I had a chance to lead a couple of hurricane seminars at the home show in Orlando this weekend and met a lot of nice folks from the East Coast who follow. Kelly from Melbourne drove over to say hi and to see some of the weather stuff and learn some things. So we had a lot of folks come in and say hi. So again, thank you very much. Spring Hill, Joy, Bartow, Charlotte, Seminole, Inverness. These names are flying by so fast, and unfortunately, they're gone. We've got Mike is going, go Lions. The Lions are taking on the Ravens tonight, 8:15. Game is in Baltimore. So we will see how that goes. Again, Susie and Tarpon, we are in a blob watch. You are correct. Michelle, good to see you. Holy cow. Look at all these comments. There's lots and lots of comments. They're scrolling by so fast I can't keep up. Amy, good to see you. Chad, nice to see you. Ivana, same to you. Riverview is in the house with Kimberly. Kenneth wants to know if you should start Laporta or Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, Kenneth. My mindset is it will be a shootout, and I think the wide receivers will come in handy as opposed to the tight ends for Detroit. Even though Detroit loves the tight end, I would go with Zay Flowers. We do give fantasy football advice in addition, and my fantasy teams, I think I'm going to go 4-1. I could go 5-0 this week, but probably 4-1. I think I'm going to lose one game because Malik Neighbors had 1.3 points and let me down. If he had gotten 10, or if I had started Michael Pittman instead of him, but you're not going to sit Malik Neighbors to play Michael Pittman. You're just not going to. So that's probably going to be my only loss. It's possible I could still win it, but I think I may fall short a little bit on that one. Let's get back into weather, shall we? So we're going to do a quick look at what's happening across the area, and then we will be answering your questions. What's the skeleton's name? Michaela, I do not believe the skeleton has a name. But anyway, I was shamed by my children to go ahead and put up all the decorations. I did not want to, because the last thing I want to do is put up 12-foot skeletons and giant decorations and then have to take them down in 2 weeks because of a hurricane. The last thing I want to do. Gina in New York, how are you? Good to see you. So temperatures right now, mid to upper 80s. The decorations are awesome, and I think you're still good for Disney. The decorations I have are just like the Christmas decorations. I hooked them up to a Lightorama system, so the music coincides with the lights, and you can turn on your radio, 89.5, and you'll be able to see the lights move with the music. It's one of my favorite things. I've always been a techie guy, so I love it. Temperatures today hit the low 90s to the upper 80s. Tampa right now, 85 degrees. The dew point back in the 70s. Getting closer, Charlotte, Wow, another great sunset. Holy cow, we have been on a roll lately. Bridget, how you doing? We have been on a massive roll on our sunsets. Oh, look at the helicopter go by. Hey, that's kind of cool. Let's see where they're going. Probably TGH. Look at that. I bet they're going to land right there. See that? Is that what are they landing? I can't tell. I can't tell. Anyway, pretty cool shot. Tennessee's in the house. Myra, how you doing? Palmetto, Tristal, nice to see you. So anyway, there's a look at the radar. Still some showers down south. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're good till 9:29. We're good on the Gulf side. Southbury, Connecticut. David, how are you? Good to see you. Futurecast, mostly inland stuff. Jamia, how are you? Good to see you. I don't think so, Justin. I think it stays dry along the coast. Yeah, I know. People are saying I jinxed us because of the decorations. It's not my fault. My kids made me do it. So there's a look at tomorrow afternoon, about 4 o'clock. And then some pretty decent action by 8 o'clock in those inland spots. I think we do it again on Wednesday into Thursday. We do have a front coming in by Saturday. Cheryl in Indiana, how are you? Kelly in Melbourne. Nice to meet you, Kelly. Again, it was great meeting you on Saturday. Thank you very much, Michael. Good luck. So there's a look at the rain chances with temperatures. They're not freezing up for me, Kathy, so I think mine are okay. And there are the tropics. All right. So we have got Gabrielle, Cat 4. Gabby has gone to town. Gabby is, really isn't that the thing lately? These storms have really been blowing up at times. That is a thing. The area in red, likely to become Umberto. The area in orange could be Imelda. The new NHC numbers are going to come out any second. We will go over all of them, as well as the models, and talk about the Caribbean and whether the Euro AI continues to hang in there with predicting a hurricane in the Gulf or the Caribbean. That's all coming up in 90 seconds as DPL continues. First break. We are in it. Thank you for the reminder, guys. Dawn, thank you. Claudia, thank you. So right now, I'm kind of thinking, well, we'll get into it, but I'll tell you, here, I'll show you. I'll give you a little preview. So we don't do operational runs very often because we know how out to lunch they often are. Yes, I'm still on ABC, Julie. Yes, I am. They're moving for me, Kathy. You might need to hit refresh. Might just need to hit refresh or close out and reopen because my comments are working just fine. So there is a look at the GFS operational, which we all know has a tendency to go crazy 10 days out. It's what it does. The accuracy rate is 2%, so it's nothing to worry about, but the GFS is now on what the Euro AI has been showing as well. Yeah, I don't know how to moderate YouTube, Michelle. I do need to get over there because you've said that a couple of times. So I will do my best to get over there and see what's going on. At least I can maybe find somebody to ban. So here we go. We are back off of TV in 5 seconds, and we will jump into all the forecast in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live, and we have got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and look and see, first of all, what the new NHC numbers are, if they have come out yet. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take all these graphics full because you don't need to see me. You would much rather see them. Puerto Rico's in the house. Pedro, nice to see you. Okay. So here is a look at, is this the new one? Yes, it is. So Gabrielle will not be updated again until 11. Cat 4, winds of 140 miles an hour. As of 8 o'clock, 30 and 80, that is the same. As of 8 o'clock, 10 and 50, that is the same. So the map that we have showing on air, which I showed you a minute ago, right here, is still accurate as of the 8 o'clock advisory. So let's go ahead. Donna in Tampa, how you doing? So let's see what, as of 8 o'clock, tropical wave, 250 miles east of the Leeward Islands, producing showers, disorganized, et cetera, et cetera. By the latter part of this week, a system is expected to slow down and turn northwestward, and a tropical depression could form late this week when the system is over the southwestern Atlantic or near the Bahamas. Okay, we are going to talk about that. All right, area in red. This appears pretty likely to become Umberto. And while it will not pose a threat to the U.S., it could pose a threat to Bermuda. Toronto's in the house. No, Wait a minute. So I don't know. Somebody's still trying to find out who I'm not fond of in this area, in this market, one of the Mets. No, it would not be Jason Adams. Jason works for us. Jason's a good guy. So, Lance, what do you talk? What do we get? Oh, boy. Yeah, we got that whiteout coming this weekend for Penn State. Alas, I have never been to a whiteout. I've always wanted to go, but I've never been able to go. September, we all know this is the most common tracks are in red, mostly offshore. October, we all know the Northern Caribbean gets active and the Western Caribbean, and then it impacts on Florida is very, very common in October and even in November. Although fronts sag farther south in November, so it's quite often, and if anything does develop, it will go zoop like that toward the Bahamas, and it follows that finger right there. But it could still impact Florida. All right, this new one comes out tomorrow, so this has not been updated. All right, let's look at the GFS ensembles, all right? The GFS ensembles are right here, and they show what would be Gabrielle, and then potentially, or Umberto. Then what do we have around here? Pretty close to the coast, and a handful in the Caribbean, but not very many. Not very many. So even though the models are hinting at development, oh boy, Amelia, Amelia. I see spam. I see spam from Amelia. I glanced over, and just in the nick of time, Amelia, you're gone. See you around. No, we won't, because you will never be on the chat again. All right, so, boy, I was just glanced over just in time to see Amelia, given that whole little, you know. Anyway, whatever. All right, so there's a look at this track of what would be Imelda, probably. That could get a little bit close to the U.S., but that's a look at the GFS. Now, let's look at the Euro AI. Now, the Euro AI of late has been very bullish on potential development in the Caribbean. It's backed off a little bit this latest run. Still showing a little something, but not too much. And it's showing zilch right here. Thank you, Ben. Very kind. So anyway, the Euro AI is taking a break from showing stuff, but what is it showing? You get this close to it's the Bahamas, it's the East Coast, and potentially the Outer Banks of the Carolinas. That would be Imelda. That would be an ice storm. All right? Yes, they are banned not just for life, but in the afterlife as well. Savannah, how you doing, Darla? Good to see you. And lastly, the European, not the AI, just the Euro. Similar setup. The majority of the tracks of Umberto, okay, so there's Gabrielle, right? There's Umberto, and potentially there would be Imelda. So you've got 1, 2, 3, but look in the Caribbean. You got one lone little developer right there that goes into New Orleans, and that's it. So it's actually backed off a little bit on potential for development in this run. So that's a good thing, right? So that is the operation. I'm sorry, those are the ensembles. Remember, if you're new to the game, if you're new to what we're doing here, the ensembles are a group of that model, the GFS, the Euro AI, whatever the model is. And it takes anywhere from 30 to 50 some odd runs, and it tweaks a little thing here and there to give kind of an idea, a range of what could happen. Far more accurate than a single entity point 10 days out. It's going to be wrong 98% of the time. It's why I'm not going to post it, because I hate being wrong. So why do I want to post something that's going to be wrong 98% of the time? So you won't see it on my page. What you will see is a range, and those ensembles give you a range. So the ensemble that we talked about in terms of the Euro AI is here with very little, a little more development in the Caribbean than the other models, but the bigger issue would be the East Coast, the Southeast, and the Mid-Atlantic early next week with Imelda, which is probably what its name would be. You've got the Euro, not the AI, shows a very similar thing. And you've got the GFS. Nope, that's spaghetti miles. The GFS, which shows more the Outer Banks of the Carolinas as a potential developing spot, and not a lot going on in the Caribbean, okay? So that is what the ensembles are showing. But what are the operational runs showing? Are they showing any landfall? Even though that might be 7 to 10 days out, they are. And we'll show you exactly where coming up in 90 seconds as DPL continues. Okay, that's break 2. Thank you, Dawn. It is time for a Kit Kat break. Gail, you appreciate my Knowles? The Knowles. So I've got 2 gators. I've got 2 bowls, my kids. 2 gators, 2 bowls, 1 Knoll. I'm a Penn Stater. We will see where my son, who's a senior in high school, is going to go. He's applying to lots of places, and we'll see where he ends up going. Could be any of the above. I guess it probably depends, you know, where the best deal with scholarships and whatnot. He's a bright kid, National Merit Scholar, semifinalist, and so I think he's going to have some opportunities out there. So we'll see. But maybe it'll be the Knowles. Maybe it'll be the Bulls. Maybe it'll be the Gators. Who knows? All right, 38 seconds left in the break. So for cruisers, anybody who's going on a cruise next week, one word for you: Dramamine. Okay? Telling you. The Bahamas, not out of Tampa. If you're going to take Tampa down to Cozumel, you're probably okay. If you're going to take Miami or Port Canaveral into the Bahamas, it might get a little bumpy for you. All right, we are back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Back with Dennis Phillips Live. That was my second break, right? I still have one more and only 8 minutes to do it. I always go long in that second break, or in that second segment, always. I'll go 6 or 7 minutes first, then I'll go like 11 minutes, and then I don't leave myself much time. So because of that, let's jump right into the operational runs, okay? Now remember, this is a weather chat, so we'll talk about what the potential is, but remember, 10 days plus out, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's fantasy land. But 7 or less, you know, maybe you got a little something there that we have to look at, all right? So let us start with the GFS. Now remember, the GFS-icane, as I call it, is very, very common for it to over-forecast hurricanes. There's Gabrielle, and that's moving zoop, right on out. So we're not worried about Gabrielle, all right? Let's look at where's Wednesday, there's Thursday, there's Friday, there's developing Umberto, there's actually, you know what? Now that's interesting. Doesn't look like the GFS actually develops the area in red. That's fascinating, as Spock said. Now, that is fascinating. It does not look like the GFS actually develops that area in red. All right, the area in orange is what we're looking at here. There's Thursday, there's Friday, there's Saturday. Eastern Bahamas, tropical storm on Saturday. Sunday, northeastern Bahamas, tropical storm, potentially hurricane. There's the GFS. Monday, next Monday, tropical storm or hurricane approaches the Outer Banks of the Carolinas. Now that is 6 days out. So you cannot completely write this one off, all right? You cannot write this one off. It does not develop the area in red, which is interesting, but it looks like to me like it's developing the area in orange and turns into a hurricane. Now that's 7 days out. Now, what else is out there? There's 8 days, there's 9 days, there's 10 days. Then you got another area, day 10. This is when it's fantasy land, but we get that same little face that we had last week when I was showing you guys. Whoop. Remember that face? Still showing it. So there you have the other system developing, and then you got the one in the Gulf developing. I'm sorry, in the Caribbean. And then there's the GFS-icane, developing and moving a system into the Gulf. That would be 2 weeks out, and again, it's fantasy land. Don't look at the end result. But My point is with these, all of these, is that the GFS has been showing this now for well over a week. If it continues to hold on to this idea, you would think at some point it might very well be accurate, because that's what usually happens. There's Umberto if it were to develop, right there. And then there's the area in orange. This is the Euro. The Euro is developing Umberto, where the GFS does not. See it right there in the middle? But it still develops a system into the Carolinas next Monday. So you have the GFS with a system in the Carolinas next Monday. You have the Euro with a system in the Carolinas next Monday. That, my friends, is a consensus, and that should be looked at. And then you've got the other system curving out to sea. You have nothing in the Gulf or the Caribbean. Nothing. And lastly, the Euro AI. There's your development. It does develop Umberto. And then the second system, it does not develop. Oh, I lied. There it is. Well, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. So yes. So the Euro AI does not bring the system into the Carolinas, but the Euro and the GFS does. All right. So we got lots and lots of stuff to talk about, but we don't have time on TV. So we have one more break, and we'll be answering your questions in the heat lightning round, and we're going to continue for a few minutes, at least until kickoff, as DPL continues. Okay, we're on last break. So, is Key West safe? Mince wants to know. I would say yes. At this point, I would say yes. You look good. Are we getting any rain anytime soon? Nicole, you are not. You are not. Do cruises still go out in tropical? Yikes. I definitely just lost signal on Wirecast. Shocker. So, luckily, the TV, well, you know, TV's only got a minute and a half left. Wonder why we're losing all this signal, because we got so many people in here? I don't know. Frozen, yeah. Yeah, I see, frozen. All right, we're back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. I'm seeing some freezing going on Facebook. Television's working just fine. So just another reason why it's awesome to watch on TV while you follow along on Facebook, because you're still going to get all the information you need. And I'm not really sure why we lost signal on this one. Maybe I needed to reboot the computer and I forgot. Can't remember. Anyway, we are in our last minute of television. So let's recap. All right? GFS brings a tropical storm into the Carolinas next Monday. Euro brings a tropical storm into the Carolinas next Monday. That would be the one in orange, right? The area in orange that the Hurricane Center is showing. And it actually doesn't develop the area in red. So at this point, any threat would be for cruisers going out of Port Canaveral or Miami, going into the Bahamas, and potentially even into the islands. But anywhere from Port Canaveral to the Outer Banks, we'll keep their eyes on it early next week. Nothing in the Gulf or the Caribbean right now. Zip, nada. All right, we're going to continue on Facebook, and I'll answer your questions. But again, thanks for tuning in on TV. We'll be back tomorrow night on our next episode of Dennis Phillips Live. Have a good night. Okay, TV is out. So I don't know why that was free. It's still doing the whole green, that little green flashing thing. So that means it doesn't have a good signal. Steve, how you doing? Welcome to the group. No, it was definitely this computer, because it went red. So this computer went a little flashy red thing, so it was definitely that. And I probably should have rebooted, but I didn't. Okay, Kyle wants to know about the 18Z GFS. You know what, Kyle? I have not looked at that, but I will. Ask and ye shall receive. So let's go ahead. In fact, here, I'll just go ahead and call it up, and we can both watch it live. All right? Now, we all know that the GFS, historically, the 18Z is usually kind of a crazy run that has a tendency to go over the top with development. So let's see if it does the same thing this go around. All right, there's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, see, it no longer brings it into the Carolinas. So that's the first thing you see different. There it is, but it's farther south and very weak. Very weak. And it never does. Look at the ridge building in. See that ridge building in? Completely forcing that out of the picture. You're like, what the heck's he talking about, ridge? All right, so you got high pressure here. That's a ridge, okay? And you got your low right here. So instead of the system moving up, it runs into a mountain of air, which is a ridge. And let's see if it shows anything else. There's a front. See the front just kind of lingering in over us. But nothing else. Nope. I see nothing else. I see no hurricanes. So, but again, the 18Z GFS is just kind of a waste of time. Okay. Well, guys, I am going to go watch a football game. You know what I have to do, Al? You know what else I have to do? I got to go buy some more Halloween lights. So I have this lighting thing that, you know, the lights sync with the music. And we have a pumpkin display where the pumpkins' mouths, they're in a squared hole, like a light bright kind of a setup. And the lights go in, and then it's hooked to the computer. And then the mouths move with the songs. It's pretty cool. But over the last year, the lights have been broken. And so I got to go and buy 10 boxes of orange Halloween lights and re-put them all in 600 or 700 holes. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight while I'm watching the football game, waiting for the 11 o'clock newscast. All right. So, and then I think tomorrow I'll probably put them up. I may not start running the light show until October 1, which is coming up, right? Like October 1 is early next week. So there you go. Does anybody have any questions? You didn't really miss anything. Andrew, you did not miss a lot, but let me ask. Hold on, let me answer questions if you guys have any. I'll answer for like a minute or two. October 10th to 14th cruise. Too early to tell, Gail. Don't know. Will I be at the Best of the Bay party? Christina, I will. I am a finalist in Best Newscaster and Best Person to Follow on Instagram. I do not know if I won. I will find out on Wednesday. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I think I'm on a 6-year winning streak on that. So obviously, it's thankful to all of you for voting, and it's a really cool article or a really cool issue. There are like hundreds of the best of, anything you can think of, best of in the Bay Area, and that party is on Wednesday. So I will be there on Wednesday, and I will find out. Miami to Barbados, October 4th. Let's look. So October 4th is right here. And the GFS right now is saying it looks okay. But, yeah, I think you're okay. I think you're okay. Marood, it's just too early to tell. 9:28 cruise out of Miami. Shannon, you'll be okay. October 5th to 12th, Orlando. Joe wants to know. Probably okay. Please talk about Florida this weekend. We got a front coming in on Friday, David, or Saturday rather. Could be some showers around on Saturday, but not a big deal. Jamie, yes, you can make it to work tomorrow. There's not going to be any problems. And let's see, wait a minute. Flight out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Monday. Now, Macy, that could be a little tricky. We'll have to see how things play out with the area in orange. The models are hinting at something close to there on Monday. So we will see. Anybody else? Water temp still in the mid-80s. Lions or Ravens tonight? I think the loss of the Lions offensive coordinator is a bigger loss than people realize. They still have the talent with Goff and Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs. But I'll tell you, I just think the loss of their offensive coordinator is a bigger issue than most say. I like the Ravens. But I stink in the NFL in predictions, so that probably means the Lions are a good pick. First week in October, Sydney should be okay. Next weekend weather. 10 days out, can't answer that. This upcoming weekend, some showers around on Saturday. Front moves through later Saturday, clearing on Sunday. Drier at that point, but not cooler. It is not a cool front per se. 9:29 to 10:05, cruise to Key West, Cozumel, Belize. Well, the models continue to show development eventually in that area, but probably not in the next week. So I think you're going to be okay. Full size, Lindsay. I'm a full size guy. Started doing that a few years ago, and I'm never going back. Cruise out of 9:27 to 10:05 out of Port Canaveral, Tricia wants to know. Well, if you're going into the Bahamas like this weekend, it might get a little rough, but I think you're going to be okay. Chad, warmer than average is what the Farmer's Almanac said. We had them on last week. Anna Maria Island for a week, October 4th, you should be fine. I'm seeing nothing for the west coast of Florida in the next 2 weeks. There's really nothing in the model showing any kind of a risk for our area. So there you go. Leslie, how you doing? Good to see you. Disney, the 28th to the 3rd, you should be totally fine, Bella. I do think there might be some rain on, well, no, I think by the 28th, is that Friday or Saturday? I can't even remember. I think that's Saturday. Or maybe even Sunday. So you should be okay. Yeah, you should be okay. The rain should be out of there by Sunday. Vicky, I don't see any cold fronts the next couple of weeks. I wish, but I don't. Bonnie in Spring Hill, how you doing? How rainy will it be on Saturday? Not tremendously. Here, I'll show you one more time. Here comes the front on Saturday. Right there. So there it comes through. That's Friday into Saturday. And then it goes south. Then it tries to bring low pressure off to the east. But that's the 18Z run. I just don't particularly think that's a very good run anyway. Disney, October 4th, you should be fine. Season ends November 30th, Melissa. So we will be back tomorrow night. Now, later on this week, Shay will be running DPL on Wednesday when I'm at the Best of the Bay Awards. And Allie will be here on Friday doing DPL. So it will be SRL on Wednesday and ABL on Friday. So kind of something for everybody. Bottom line, nothing to worry about in the Gulf or the Caribbean. The Atlantic, early next week, we'll see if anything pops in that area in orange. All right, guys, have a great night. And I will see you tomorrow night on our next edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.